Hey, Old Boar here. So you want to make a real location map for City Skylines 2? Let's come into Editor. In the previous video, I showed you how to download your height map, world map, your streets, and your satellite imagery overlay. You're going to need those to build these maps. I'm going to start with a map called Geneva, Switzerland. And I've already got the height map and the world map for it. So let's come to Modify Terrain, Import Height Map Geneva, and Load. You can see that this map has a little bit more character than Manchester. If you don't know how to get your height map or your world map, see the previous video. Now I want to import the world map. World map Geneva, and load. Very nice. Lots of mountains. Lots of nice terrain. Now, your world map is a backdrop. You're not going to be able to build or edit the map outside of the buildable area. And your buildable area is indicated by this orange dotted line. You can see that it comes all the way down here by the lake, goes all the way back over here, and up to this edge of the map. Now, using Control O, I'm going to lay the streets over to see where we're going to bring in our water features. You come to Map, and you scroll down, you're going to get a checklist. And that checklist is asking us to have surface or groundwater, an outside connection, and we need to give the map a name. So let's call it what it is. Geneva, Switzerland. I'm going to copy that, come down to Save Map, put the file name in, Geneva, Switzerland, and save. Now you can see that we have this box checked. So let's add some water. Water in City Skylines 2 is probably one of the most delicate things to do, but it's fun. If you like to build maps, you're going to have some fun with it. Now, this here is Yin Yang's water tool. It's a mod that allows you to add or change water features inside your gaming session. It's not recommended to use this inside your map editor. You should be using the tools inside of map editor, map water settings. So we want to put a river that comes all the way through and goes all the way down to the lake. So right here at the edge of the map, you can see our orange border there. We're going to add a border river water source. Now, before you do anything, pause your game. Now, click onto your map right about where you want the water source and add the item. Now you can see that this has created this massive river through our map. We want to change the settings of that water source. It's going to go all the way back up into the mountains and all the way out to the edge of the world map. Now, every element has a number and it starts with 0. This is element number 0. And first, we want to change this down. Let's just try 20. Okay, be sure to move your mouse so that you're not uncovering this. If you add 2,000 or 20,000 here, you could crash your game. So be careful. We've changed it to 20 and it still looks a little bit wide. Let's move it down to 10. Click out onto the map. Let's move this just a bit to the left. I'm going to move it right over to here. Getting it down into those contours. This is where our river's going to start to flow. You can see these are a little bit lower elevations here. Still looks a little bit wide, so let's take this down to about 400. That looks a little better. Let's go down to 390. Now I've done several of these maps in Cities Skylines 2. I've also done many in Cities Skylines 1. You see when I moved it there, the height elevation changed and it looks a little bit more realistic to what we're trying to get to go out to the edge of the map. Let's see if we can make it just a little bit higher. As you follow those contour lines, you're changing the elevation of that water source. We're going to bring it up to 390. Now, even though I'm overflowing here a little bit, that's going to be good because we're going to make this river flow. That's going to be the delicate part. Doing oceans is pretty easy. You put the ocean water source on the edge of the island, you set the elevation, and it's pretty much done. These are the tricky parts. Now we've got our game paused, and we want to bump up this water simulation speed just a bit. Let's bump it up to 16. You can also increase the speed of the game, and you're going to see our water start to flow. Let's go ahead and bump it up to 128. Even though we're a little bit overflowed here, if you look at our overlay, you can see that this blue, this light blue area is where our river comes. You can do some terraforming either here in the editor or in the game session to kind of make that river fit your real location map. So this is about where our water is going to flow to. We've let it run for a few seconds, so I'm going to pause the game. And I'm going to move this menu back up into its main menu there. There are two ways of going about adding this river. You can add constant level water sources or constant rate water sources. Rate makes the river look just a little bit more realistic, and it's more delicate. You're going to have to be very careful with the constant rate water sources. We're going to go ahead and use them. They're a little bit harder to work with. That's okay. We're having fun. So my game is paused. I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to add a constant rate water source. I'm going to move it right into that position. Now I'm going to drop down the element, and I'm going to change the radius to about 12. Move your mouse out of the way so that you can see you have 12. And we're going to move this, the rate, we're going to put the rate all the way down to 0.5. Click out into the map and get ready. Unpause, and you see that we have overflowed just a bit outside of the original area of the river. That's okay. We're going to fix that, but we need that river to flow. And you can see that it's flowing all the way down to about here. It's having a little bit of trouble getting through this little area right in here. If this seems to be too much, you can drop this down to 10. But we want this rate to be about 0.5. If you have a 10.00 here, you're going to flood out this whole area. We've come all the way down to about here. We're outside of our rivers area here. You can see. But we also have some little rivers coming up in here. And we've got some other little rivers coming down in through here. You can get as detailed as you want. I'm just going to kind of give you the basics in this video. And we also see that here's some little water features that are coming in the real location. And we've got this little water feature here. We're okay. This doesn't look okay, but it is. Now if you lose your contour lines, click up to map and click back down to water again. We've got one water source here. You can see that it's constantly giving water out to this area. You could try to drop these down even lower. It's not giving out so much water, but you're going to need to put another water source over here. I'm going to leave this at 0.500. So I'm going to go throughout and I'm going to come down all the way to our lake. So you can see that I'm just about near the lake here, and I'm going to locate this source. Hit the little locate button. Just scroll your wheel down, you can find out where that last source is. And I've got quite a bit of flooding going on in here, but we're going to fix all of that. This is actually a little river that comes in down from this side. If it starts to get nighttime on you, just move this back down so that you can see what you're doing. This is your time of day. Okay, we're about to get down to the actual lake. Now you can see that your lake has that border river water source coming in from outside the world map up to your buildable area here. We're going to have to do something different inside of here. But I've almost got my water flowing out to this little area here. If you were to use your terrain tools now to get this to work according to your map, that's okay, but those are things that we can do in-game. I prefer to do them in-game, and you can see that we're flowing out and we're going to fill in part of this lake here. This is the actual height. This here's the actual height of where we have our border river water source. At this point, this is where you can either use another border river water source or a constant level water source. We're going to try a constant level water source. pause your game, and we're going to add this constant level water source here, and we're going to bring the height up. You just drag it right up to the edge, you're going to see the height elevations change. This is 395. It's just about what it is on the other side. 395, radius, height, unpause. You could also change your radius. Let's try 140. So I've been tweaking this out for a few minutes, and I think I finally got our water sources flowing correctly. What you're looking for is that you don't have this little drop off here. I think these need to be raised up to about 4, maybe 410. You can just tweak it. It's going to take a little bit of tweaking. Depends on how particular you are. If you want to make this map playable so that you can upload it to Paradox Mods for other people to play, you're going to have to add in all the other things on the checklist. Your train connection, airplane connections, outside electricity connection, oil, forest, fertile, ore, all those things. And of course we need an outside connection, and I think I'll take that in a different session. We're going to add our outside connection, and we're going to straighten up a little bit of these rivers in the next video. So thanks for watching the Old Boar, and we'll see you in the next time. Take care now.